Now we're back in real time.
It's nice that they finally gave Battler a bone.
Like a little bit of a spine. Yeah, I broke my game again. Is everyone legit dead or is this all Beatrice's game? I don't know. Rosa and the rest returned from the chapel to the parlor in the mansion. Such a horrific thing had happened so early in the morning. Of course, they were high-strung. Hold on. Drinking down some Gatorade. Battler and George, who had cried, raged, and let their emotions explode after seeing their parents' tragic bodies, returned to the parlor, sat on the sofas, and let their minds go blank, as though everything up until then had been a lie. Only Maria was completely unchanged, and looked just like normal. When she wasn't being mischievous, she was basically a kid who played wordlessly by herself. So even if her mind was blank, she would probably look as though she did. But as she turned on the TV and flipped through the channels, it looked as though nothing about her had changed from normal. Perhaps Rosa had some opinions about this attitude, which was clearly different from normal people. She stared at Maria's back with a gaze that wasn't quite pleasant. Eventually, Kumasawa came to say good morning. Her cheerful manner was clearly out of place, and she couldn't help but be bewildered at the strange atmosphere in the room. Then she heard the tales from Goda, and expressed her shock in a truly noisy manner. Oh, of course, you've contacted the police, right? What should we do at a time like this? Oh, what should we do?
Please listen calmly. It seems that some kind of apparatus was done in by lightning last night. Because of that, we become unable to use the telephones.
Then, until the typhoon passes, we can't even contact the police? Maybe Kurosawa's exaggerated expression was a little comical. Rosa giggled in spite of the situation. Oh, I know the story. It's Bryan's reactions to the story that at the beginning of the stream, when during a certain fight happened, between two certain stakes happened, he was just, it was so fun to see. It was so fun to see. Because of that, the fog of confusion that had covered her head cleared up a little. I've got to stay strong. It's not just Maria. I'm acting as a parent for George-kun and Battler-kun too, and so I have to stay strong. Rosa had been the youngest sibling, with a large difference in age between her and the others. So she was always treated as a child. Every time she learned something new, it was something obvious to her brothers and sister, and she had grown a complex, thinking that she must be incompetent. So she had formed a passive attitude, asking her brothers and sister for advice every time something happened. But she no longer had any brothers or sisters. No. Now Rosa was the only one of the 4 Ushinomiya siblings left. Furthermore, if Kinzo continued to shut himself away even in this extraordinary situation, Rosa would have to surpass this crisis as the representative of the head. I am not a child anymore. Not a child. Rosa slapped her knees lightly and stood up. Well, you know, the Midwestern thing. She must not wait for orders now. She had to start moving herself. She picked up the receiver to the extension phone on the side table. She then immediately remembered that the telephones were out of order. Genji and Shannon, who had sent to see Kinzo, hadn't returned yet. She had a general guess. He was probably yelling about something nonsensical again, and they were unable to calm him. His important chapel had been defiled with blood. It was easy to imagine. She had planned on using the extension phone to call the study, but with the telephone line dead, it was nothing else for it. Rosa decided to go to the study directly, with her own 2 feet. Her old self would have been so frightened that she wouldn't have been able to see Kinzo. And in fact, if she did meet him, she would probably be blamed for something and abused. But now wasn't the time to be frightened. As his true daughter, she had to make him aware of the current situation. Kumasawa-san, I'm going to see Father. Take care of George-kun and Battler-kun. I'm sure they're on edge right now. Yes. I'm quite sure they must be. It's truly pitiful. I shall make them something warm to drink. Thank you. Rosa went out into the hallway and headed towards Kinzo's study. The atmosphere in this mansion, which she had spent her younger days in and should have been full of memories, seemed somehow different. And she began to climb the stairs in the entrance hall. Just then, in the gloom down the stairs behind Rosa, something glowed. It was a single, fluttering gold butterfly. It fluttered around and sparkled. That butterfly quietly danced without a sound. Obviously, no one can hear the sound of a butterfly's wings beating. And then, it stopped on Rosa's back as she slowly climbed the stairs.
Oh no.
Rosa didn't notice. To an ignorant observer, it would probably have looked like just as though a single sheet of gold leaf in the shape of a butterfly had gotten stuck there. Without noticing, Rosa continued heading into Kinzo's study. Well, in what way should I entertain myself next? There are still many, many pieces left. In the parlor, which had returned to silence, the only sound was that of the TV, which Maria was watching alone. If there was anything audible other than that, it was the sound of the rain which had continued on and on since last night. Every one of those people who had viewed that unearthly and horrible scene stayed silent, as though praying that the events of this morning were all a dream. Only Kumasawa hadn't seen it, and so acted slightly differently. She instead found the silence difficult to bear, and was fidgety with the desire to cheer everyone up. However, unable to say more than she could, unable to say more than she should, it seemed that she was racking her brains as to how she could be of some use. Normally, it would be time for breakfast. However, maybe because something like that had happened, Goda seemed to have forgotten about preparing a meal. Now, maybe everyone was so beaten up that they had forgotten their hunger. Kumasawa wanted to bring up the subject of what they should do for breakfast, but it didn't seem like the right atmosphere, so she really couldn't. But it was difficult being hungry, so she casually made a proposal. I imagine you all must be tired after all that has happened. In times like this, I think the best thing is to heat yourself up with some warm black tea. That is a good plan. I agree as well. Oh, how about some delicious black tea with biscuits and jam? Oh, yes. It seems like it's near Halloween. There were some delicious-looking pumpkin-shaped cookies on the shelf. Kumasawa, that's... Of course, she had said the wrong thing, because she reminded Battler and the rest of that horrible and tragic Halloween party in the chapel. Nanja hurriedly whispered in Kumasawa's ear.
You done fucked up, you old bitch.
Right as Battler comes up, you say that. Battler-san, I'm truly sorry. I didn't mean anything bad. Gracious, no.
No, don't worry about it. I'll definitely turn this boiling anger back on the culprit. I wonder if that culprit is still on the island. Probably. After all... Hello, baby.
Hello, baby. You want to join in voice acting? Yes, my baby girl. Dolores. My goodness, my baby.
Now then. Probably. After all, there's not going to be a boat coming until the typhoon passes.
I know, Miss Dolores. I know.
Yes, my goodness. Because the boats don't come here if there's a little wind. They certainly wouldn't be able to ride one during a typhoon, good gracious, no!
It creeps me out. You think so too, Aniki? Me too. Regardless of whether the culprit was that mystery guest or not.
That's right. We are naturally suspecting the mysterious guest who calls herself Beatrice. We still cannot be sure that she is the culprit. You think it's George? Interesting.
So, real quick,
Answer.
does this time, like, did the portrait change
Yes.
from where it was the first time?
The portrait did change. Yeah. There is still the possibility she's a victim whose corpse still hasn't been found.
When I think of it that way, there's something I just can't understand. What do you mean by that? It's simple. Just like Kumasawa-bachan said a short while ago. Right now, this island is right in the midst of the typhoon, and escape is impossible. The same thing goes for the culprit. In that case, having the crime come to light should have been the thing that the culprit most wanted to avoid. That's right. There was no need to draw that creepy magic circle on the entrance to the chapel and show off the fact that the corpses were there. Right. Exactly that. Furthermore, if they were able to take the time and effort to do something so horrible to the 6, it should have been equally possible for them to hide the 6 corpses where they would be impossible to find. I agree. That brutal Halloween party probably wasn't directed at those who died. It was directed at the people who would eventually discover it. Us. You could probably claim that the magic circle was there to show it to us.
Sorry, our little baby's being a crackhead.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Huh? No, I mean, like, they're chasing something. Don't know what they're chasing, but they're chasing something. Oh, sure, yeah.
Hey, go ahead and read that thing.
The culprit knew that they wouldn't be able to get away from this island for a while. And yet, they acted as though they wanted to make us find the corpses in the middle of this typhoon.
Sorry, I had to turn on the back of the...
Yeah, there's light in the balcony, girls.
What does this mean? If I was a culprit, I definitely wouldn't play around and make us find the corpses. Beatrice-sama was not in her room. The room did not seem particularly disturbed. In fact, we still kind of forgot about Cannon and Jessica.
Oh, they're fine. They're fine.
No. My lady did disturb her quite a lot, though. Come to think of it, what happened to Jessica?
Now they ask the question.
Canon-san is looking after her. They're probably in Milady's room. That isn't good. The culprit is definitely still on the island. In this situation, I don't believe it's a very good idea to isolate ourselves in small numbers.
What do you mean by that? You don't mean to say that the culprit plans to kill all of us? Let us remain calm. It's not yet certain.
But we can't deny the possibility. Much to my chagrin?
Chagrin. Yep.
The fuck is that word?
It's like, as much as I wanted to. Like, as much as I want to deny the possibility, it's like, chagrin is like, yeah.
Distress or embarrassment at having failed or have been humiliated.
Yep.
This letter was in the chapel. According to this, the culprit is the witch. And if we don't solve the riddle of grandfather's epitaph and find the gold, she'll massacre the whole family. Or something like that. Is that true? Would you allow me to read it as well?
As they read the witch's letter, Goda, Kumasawa, and Naja's faces grew even paler than they had been before. Kumasawa could no longer hide her shaking. Welcome to the 40 and over club!
If you don't want to die, try finding grandmother's hidden gold, huh? Screwing around with us. I bet you can't solve the riddle, so you're trying to make us solve it.
Actually, I can probably show you the character screen right now. Just so everyone's clear what's going on. Kinzo. alive. The aged head of the Oshinomiya family, brimming with energy despite it being pronounced only having short time to live. There's a Kraus, dead. Natsui, dead. Jessica, alive.
Bullshit, she is.
Beatrice, the 19th person. Eva, dead. Hideyoshi, dead. George, alive. Rudolph, dead. Kirie, dead. Oh, and also I should probably note these. Welcome, Maria. Happy Halloween. See, didn't I tell you? Bellies are full of candy. Everyone has a belly that's filled with sweet dreams. A belly could never be full of disgusting things. That's why we want to be simple and sweet like candy. So this is Dreamland is for you. Happy Halloween. But as you can see, everyone else is alive. There you go.
However,
Oh, sorry, that was a...
However, I wonder what the truth is. Madame always insisted that the legend of the gold was nothing more than a fantasy created by the master. It is doubtful whether that actually existed.
True. Supposedly, they thought it would be nice if it existed, but only somewhat believed it. The relatives only all started believing in the legend of the gold after Kinzo's health worsened and the inheritance problem came up. I would think that there are very few people who believed it before then.
Really? I wonder if that's why. Do you remember? On the table in the chapel.
In the 21st night of September.
There were 3 gold ingots.
Love was changing goodbyes. Sorry. I promise I won't. I actually don't know the lyrics to the next part.
That alone is worth quite a lot. Couldn't that truly prove that the legend of the gold was real?
Excuse me. Please wait. Just now, did you say 3 gold bars?
Yeah, there were definitely 3 of them piled up. So what?
Well, I happened to hear Kraus-sama talking about it once. Yes, I just heard it, you understand? It's not like I was trying to listen to his discussions in secret, gracious, no!
Don't worry about that now. So then what? Is there something wrong with there being 3 of those gold bars?
Yes. According to Kraus-sama, there was only 1 bar ever found to support the legend of the gold. That is correct. I do believe the story goes that Kinzo-san showed the president of Marusu the mountain of gold and let him take 1 bar back with him. And then one came to be in Kraus-sama's possession. And he said this as well, that there was no gold which supported the master's legend besides that one.
You're talking about my uncle here, right? So what do we got here? Wait. 3? Wait. Where did they come from? There's too many of them.
Might we not think of it this way? Maybe the other people in the family each found one and they each brought 1 of them here.
No, I cannot believe that. When all the relatives came to the mansion, I was entrusted with their luggage. I did not feel any suspicious weight back then. I think they weighed about 10 kilograms. If that much weight was in their bags, even I would notice. But it didn't seem that way. Same here. At the most, there were some changes of clothes, medicine, Kirie-san's makeup. That's about it, I think. Auntie Rose's luggage also looked pretty light. In that case, those 3 piled up gold bars were being shown to them. Or maybe us. Telling us that the legend of gold is definitely real. That it isn't a fantasy. Then challenging us to uncover it. Could there be a scheme? To have us solve the epitaph which points to the hidden location and then try to snatch it away? That does fit best. But there are a few parts that don't make sense. First, Our parents, who should have been most likely to be able to solve the epitaph, were killed first. I think that creates an immediate contradiction. But something else makes even less sense. They're trying to say that the legend of gold is actually true. But how could they prepare that gold? It's almost like the culprit has already found the gold and is telling us to try and find it too. Maybe the culprit obtained those 3 like Uncle Kraus and thereby became certain about the legend of the gold, and is trying to make us search for the rest. I think that way is most convincing. The pieces on the chessboard aren't lining up at all. Maybe we don't have a clue about what the culprit is planning, what they want to make us do. Is it pointless? Thinking about anything at this point in time.
It was written down. What she wants you to do. Can any of you read?
Maria suddenly laughed in a very creepy voice. I thought she'd been concentrating on the TV, but she'd been listening in too, apparently. As she remained facing the TV, she very simply told us what we were forgetting.
Beatrice hasn't said one word about wanting the gold. She's not asked anything except whether you can solve the epitaph's riddle or not. Although I bet she thinks it'll be impossible for you anyway.
First.
That's a lot of
Wait, not that
nuts!
one.
Ow!
So you're saying you can solve it, Maria?
Don't care. She's going to take me to the Golden Land, so won't get in Beatrice's way. Ouch!
Looks like if we want to understand further, we're gonna have to ask Maria. Maria, tell us. Who is this Beatrice? What is she planning?
Well, you see, Beatrice is a witch. She can do anything with her wondrous powers. Anything can be done with the power of magic. You can create gold, you can create bread, and also, of course, you can even create sweets. You saw it, didn't you?
Right as the light went out.
Hmm?
At that time, everyone jumped at the sound of a door being closed forcefully. We returned around to find that at some point Rosa had returned, bringing Genji and Shannon. Then she rapidly approached Maria, her heels clacking, and hit her sharply on the cheek. Stop talking about that! Battle of Kun and the rest will take it badly. Without waiting for a response, she slapped Maria's cheek once more. Everyone could only stand there, shocked. I don't know what ooh means. What about yes? She mercilessly slapped Maria's cheek again. Maybe she didn't feel like resisting after being hit twice. Maria weakly said yes. Rosa, there's no reason to do something so harsh. This is my daughter's education. I would greatly appreciate it if you didn't interject. The atmosphere around Rosa, with Genji and Shannon in tow, was somehow cold and yet dignified. It's completely different from how she seemed before she left. We saw that Auntie Rosa was holding something that looked like a gun. I couldn't imagine why she would have brought back a toy in this situation.
Auntie Rosa, what is...
This is Father's. Because of the current situation, I borrowed it specially.
Also, yes, I know that was a revolver, I don't care.
This is also the same Winchester from last episode. I'm sure you all realize it as well as I do. The culprit is still nearby. We don't know what could happen.
I agree. Rather than trying to figure out what the culprit is planning, it might be better to first think about our own safety.
Father was alright, but he was slightly agitated by these sudden events. Fortunately, he said that he won't leave this room, so he's probably safe. Now, we should all do what we can to gather in the same place.
I agree. We don't even know where the culprit is hiding. And anyway, there's a proof that there's only one of them.
I shivered at the words that had come out of my own mouth. That's right. Could a single person kill 6 people and create such horrible scene all alone? Isn't it natural to assume that this crime was carried out by multiple culprits? I agree with Rosa-san. It is probably good for us to gather in one place. My goodness, yes. I also think that is good. Yes, yes.
Maybe it would be good to call Milady and Kanon-san here already. Good idea. Let's have them come down.
George Aniki made to grab the extension phone, but Goda shook his head. All right, we can't use the phones right now.
I'll go with a couple of people. If George Aniki and Goda-san come as well, that should be enough.
No. Let's all go together. It's a wolves and sheep puzzle. If we're all gathered together in equilibrium, the situation is the most safe.
That almost sounded like a sound effect from Killer 7.
Maybe probably the same database that I probably found it from.
Wolves and sheep puzzle?
I have it. Show you.
Maria, turn off the television. Genji-san, please tell me where Jessica-chan's room is. Let's all go together.
Yes, I will guide you.
Come on, everyone. We'll move together. Follow my instructions. We stood up. Maria alone looked like she had some lingering attachment to the TV, but she went along with everyone for now and got up.
Shannon, thank goodness. I was a little worried when you took so long to get back.
I'm sorry to have worried you.
What?
What?
Oh no, wait, sorry. I'm thinking, Jessica.
Yeah, like Shannon's alive here. She's fine. Lamau.
Sorry. I know, again, I was thinking Jessica, my bad.
I'm sorry to have worried you. The master ordered me to copy down something.
Copy down?
Shannon,
I am sorry. Excuse me. We headed for Jessica's room, led by Genji-san and Auntie Rosa holding a gun. Jessica and Kanon were a girl and a boy about the same age. That should be a shame if we walked in on them at a bad time, is what I've joked about normally, I'm sure. However, Auntie Rosa was on edge, constantly exuding tension. So it really wasn't the kind of atmosphere where could joke out like that. Hey, don't fall behind! Everyone move together! We don't know when or where the culprit might leap out at us, you know! No, maybe Auntie Rosa's attitude was more appropriate. Since Grandfather hadn't come down, Auntie Rosa was the leader. It wasn't a situation where she could smile like she always did. And Auntie Rosa herself was a mother. She probably thought that if she didn't get a hold of herself, some harm might befall her beloved daughter. This culprit had killed 6 of our parents at once. The method they had used was unknown, but there was a good chance that this opponent could take down a large number of people in an instant. Was that with weapons? Or with numbers? Or was it magic of a witch? In any case, it definitely didn't look like there were any factors indicating we could get careless. The rest of us should also take much, much greater care, like Auntie Rosa. Everyone stop! Auntie Rosa spoke in a sharp voice. When we peered forward, wondering what was up, we immediately noticed the reason. What is this?
everyone,
Oh wait, sorry. I thought it was Genji. Go ahead.
Everyone, get back.
Goda-san and Genji-san approached the door. Jessica's room was probably on the other side of that door.
This seems to be the same paint that was scribbled on the door to the chapel.
it appears so. It appears that not much time has passed since it was drawn.
What is that? Another magic circle?
It's the first magic circle of the moon. It has the power to open unopenable doors.
The door to Jessica's room had that creepy graffiti on it which had been drawn on the door to the chapel. That strange shape definitely had some meaning related to the occult. But it didn't matter what the meaning was. We were more worried about whether those two were alright.
That doesn't matter. Are Jessica-chan and Kanokun alright?
I have a bad premonition. We should quickly take those two downstairs.
Milady! Milady! Are you there? Please answer!
Given that this is Japan with the most sensible gun laws on the planet, does she actually know how to use it? Here's the thing. Kinzo himself is an avid America stan. Like, he loved America. America! Fuck yeah!
The fact that he named a lot of, his children everything but English names, or everything but Japanese names.
Yeah. So, he actually, imported more than just the shotgun from the West, because of his love for gunmanship. It's not unthinkable to imagine him teaching his children the usage of guns, or at least the power of guns.
Like, if any of you remember the anime High School of the Dead, that one chubby dude that was like a huge gun nut? Mm-hmm. Basically, I can assume it's the same with Kinzo.
Oh yeah. Like, he is a gun nut. Goda knocked violently and yelled, but there was no answer. He twisted the knob with a clatter, but the lock just resisted him.
Rosa-san, it seems to be locked.
There are no other options. Please open it. Genji nodded, and Goda quickly unlocked the door with a master key. In the back of my mind, horrible images floated up and disappeared, one after another. A magic circle had been drawn on the door to the chapel, and 6 corpses had been behind that. So, if there was a magic circle drawn on the door to Jessica's room, then beyond it. Oh, yeah, I thought it was Genji. I saw G! I thought it was Genji.
Jessica-sama!
What happened? Is she there?
Jessica! What happened?
It was truly heartless. The expression on Goda's face and what he said when he opened the door prepared us for the brutal fate that Jessica might have met, even without seeing her. Everyone tumbled into Jessica's room at once. The scene told everyone about their worst fears were right on the mark.
I'm not screaming that.
Jessica! Dr. Nanjo! The room seemed elegant for Jessica's age, and there she was inside it, lying on the ground. There was a large pool of blood on the floor, and then there was a knife or something sticking deep into her back. Was it a knife? It was a design in the handle that had been done in a devil motif. There was no doubt that this weapon carried some kind of occult meaning. This is horrible. She has passed away. This probably reaches her lungs. Not much time's passed since she died. Jessica!
Damn it! Damn it!
Battle-sama.
I was naive. I knew it. Since I couldn't escape the island, the culprit was definitely close by. Why wasn't I on my guard straight away? I was naive. I just assumed that culprits sneak away after they commit a crime. We were stunned then. We thought we just had to accept it when Jessica-chan gave in to rage and ran off. But we were naive. We should have stopped her.
Goda-san, why did you leave those two alone? If only you had been with them, something like this would never...
No, you see, I said it was dangerous, so we should return. It's just that the lady said she wanted to be alone. Kano-san told me to leave it to him, and... Speaking of which, where is Kano-san? That's right. What in the world happened to Kano-kun?
Kano-kun? Where?
Kano-san should have been with Milady. Where in the world? You don't think they got him?
Quiet. Someone might be hiding in this room. Search under the bed and in the closet. There was also a chance that Kano-kun's corpse had been pushed away somewhere. At Rosa's order, everyone searched the room together. but there wasn't a single human hiding anywhere.
He's nowhere. Could the culprit have taken him out of the room? Then we have to search for him quickly and save him. If we're slow, something awful might happen. Auntie Rosa, let's search all over the mansion. Let's search for the culprit. Let's save Canon-kun.
Quiet! Auntie Rosa yelled at us loudly. We each fell silent. She was probably contemplating something. But what in the world could that be? Auntie Rosa walked around the room as though looking for something, or as though she was collecting her thoughts. Then she found something on the side table by the bed and picked it up. If anyone knows, tell me. What key is this? Auntie Rosa showed everyone a key with a cute mascot attached to it. Judging from its cute appearance, I didn't doubt that it was Jessica's key, but I had no way of knowing what key it was.
It was probably the key to Milady's room.
After hearing that, Auntie Rosa made a point of going outside the door and checking. Without a doubt, it was the key to this room. I wonder why it was set in a place like this. Normally, don't you keep important keys in your pocket?
Milady wasn't in the habit of locking her room. Except for when she went to school. It seems she would do it then, because she didn't want Kraus-sama to look inside her room.
I see. She wasn't at school, so it's natural that Jessica-chan would set the key down here. How many keys can open this door?
Just the one Milady had.
Can't it be opened with your master keys?
They can open it.
How many master keys are there? Do all of the servants have one? Are there extras?
Yes. We all have one. As for extras, I wonder.
There used to be several, but Madame strongly scolded us that this was careless, so I believe they've been dealt with.
That is correct. There is only one held by each servant. There are no more.
Wait a second. In the last game, I thought we said there were extra master keys.
Yes. Regarding that, I've noticed that having several master keys whose locations were unknown was quite disadvantageous for me.
Well, yeah. Since you want to make me believe in magic by using locked rooms, it must be really disadvantageous for you to have master keys unaccounted for. In fact, every time a trick related to locks show up, I was planning to resist by arguing that the culprit possessed a master key that someone had lost in the past, or a duplicate.
Yes, exactly. So I've decided to make a move to defeat that. I'll alter the setup. The only master keys are the ones held by the servants, one key each.
Messing with me. More importantly, what is this move? What's Auntie Rosa saying?
Who knows? You should try listening in. Thank you. I have the situation sorted out. And I've managed to identify the culprit who assaulted Jessica-chan. Or maybe one of their accomplices.
What did you say? Who is that? Auntie Rosa, you can't be talking about Canon-kun.
Why Canon-kun?
This room was locked. And the only keys that can unlock this room are the master keys that each servant is holding, as well as the key Jessica had. But Jessica-chan's key was closed up in here, which means the only keys that could have unlocked it are the master keys.
It is as you say.
In that case, someone killed Jessica-chan and then locked the door. That person was holding a master key. And there are only 5 people who were holding master keys. Oh my! It wasn't me, not me! Gracious, no, I couldn't do something like that! Kumasawa-san, you got up late. After we returned from the chapel to the parlor, we did meet you there. But it's impossible to prove where you were and what you were doing until up that time. You watched us from the shadows, chased after Jessica-chan and Canon-kun where they were isolated and stealthily attacked them. Are you saying that I visited Milady's room and did something so horrible? I did no such thing! Gracious, no such thing! What about you, Goto-san? You said you left Jessica-chan in Canon-kun's care and returned. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if you didn't really kill the two of them, hide Canon-kun's corpse, and then come back with an innocent look on your face.
Nothing of the sort happened. I swear on my name that I did not do anything like that.
It wasn't us either. We were following Master's orders and... Yes, at least you and Genji-san are all right. That is backed up by what I heard from Father. The two of you were in Father's room the whole time, one copying and one standing witness. Father and I can guarantee that.
Thank you very much.
In that case, I think the argument comes from who is more suspicious, Goda-san or Kumasawa-san. That's how I thought too, in at least the first moments of their entering this room. But then I thought it was strange. Look at the state of Jessica-chan's body. Don't you all think it's strange?
Strange, you say?
Jessica-chan was stabbed in the back. Come on, it's often generally said, right? In the crimes where the victims are stabbed in the back, there's a high likelihood that the culprit was someone whose face was known to the victim. She definitely wouldn't invite a person that she didn't trust to her room and defenselessly expose her back. Rosa-sama, you couldn't mean to say that it was Canon-kun? Yes. We know well what state Jessica-chan was right before she was killed. Jessica-chan was very panicked after seeing her parents' tragic bodies, and it's easy to imagine that after she regained her composure, she would have been in a horrible slump. I can really understand it if Jessica-chan's frame of mind led her to shut herself up alone in her room, and those particulars would fit with Goda-san's story. Jessica-chan said to leave her alone, and Canon-kun, who is of a similar age and may have had some adolescent relationship with her, said to leave it to him. I can really understand why he'd feel that way. And then I think that is the very reason why Jessica-chan welcomed Canon-kun into her room. But what if it had been Goda-san or Kumasawa-san? Would she have let them into her room?
I believe that I've gained Milady's trust. But even so,
Then you are another suspect after all, right, Goda-san? I thought that you probably weren't liked by Jessica-san, so I believe she wouldn't have let you into her room. So I thought it was impossible that you were the culprit, but...
No, I am afraid to say that I may have not been accepted by Milady. Kumasawa-san, what about you?
A senior like me is far too separated by age to understand the feelings of a young person like Milady very well. And perhaps Milady did not open her heart up to me. Right, Goda-san?
Yes, that's right. She probably did not open her heart to us a great degree. It would be inconceivable that Milady would let us into her room where she was heartbroken.
Goda-san and Kumasawa-bachan each clasped their hands together, affirming each other with forced smiles on their faces. It was really an unpleasant routine. Someone who was permitted to enter Jessica-chan's room when she was heartbroken. Who would have been given access to her defenseless back? And that person had a master key. That only points to one person. It was impossible for anyone except Canon-kun. Please wait! Canon-kun definitely wouldn't do something like... Oh, then is there someone else? Is Goda-san or Kumasawa-san suspicious after all? Which of the two do you think is more suspicious, Shannon-chan? Come on. Don't... It wasn't me, Shannon-chan! Shannon-san! Gracious, no, it was not me!
Of course, it wasn't me either. It was Kanon-san who had a close relationship with Milady, and you, Shannon-san, if anyone.
Oh yes, I almost forgot. Jessica-san might have also let Shannon-chan into her room. But you should have been with Father. But in reality, are you the culprit?
Shannon Shan can't be the culprit. You only just said that she was doing some important work with grandfather.
Yes, I know that. Neither Shannon-chan or Genji-san is the culprit. Even father acknowledges that they were together the whole time. Well then, what do you think, everyone? Asked that, no one could respond. Because even if someone did argue back, they would then have to offer the name of a different suspicious person. Then no matter whose name that person was here. No one could do something like that. Auntie Rosa glanced at everyone in turn, fingering the gun like it was a toy. She seemed so different from the normal, kind Auntie Rosa. No, it's probably because I still don't feel how much danger we're in. Maybe until Auntie Rosa's attitude seemed natural to me, I wasn't fully appreciating the danger. Seems like no one has an opinion. Then I will say mine. Of course, I can't deny the possibility that Kanon-kun is a victim without a corpse. But until we find his corpse, I'll also definitely can't deny the possibility that Kanon-kun is a suspect. There's a chance that Kanon-kun may claim to have been attacked by the culprit and confined somewhere. He may appear unexpectedly without excuse. But take care. Maybe, probably, no, definitely. Kanon-kun killed Jessica-chan.
No way.
I can't believe it. For Kanon-kun to do that to Milady. That's too much to accept.
I feel the same as Shannon. I oppose labeling Kanon-kun as the culprit.
Then is the culprit Goda-san or is it Kumasawa-san? Tell me, who's more suspicious? It wasn't us! Would you want to do it together? 1, 2, 3. It wasn't us! If it wasn't Kanon-kun, then who could have locked this door? Shannon-chan? George-kun? Well? Auntie Rosa closed in on Shannon-chan and George Aniki, laughing unpleasantly. Of course, they couldn't say anything back. They wanted to believe in Kanon-kun, but if they did, they would have to suspect other servants. Simplest culprit was the mystery guest Beatrice, but she was nothing more than a guest and didn't have a master key. And Beatrice was the culprit without a master key. Do we have to accept the argument that she really is a witch and lock the door with the power of magic?
That's a filthy argument. Filthy.
What's so difficult? Make it my fault. You can just make it the fault of the 19th person, the mystery guest, can't you not? If you do, you won't have to watch this ugly battle of humans pressing each other.
So then what? The culprit is a 19th person? The guest Beatrice? She's a witch, so she could lock the door without a key using magic. Are you telling me to accept that? No goddamn way. No way. No goddamn way.
In the last game, I learned all of your weak points. So what now? What now? You said you were never going to accept me, did you not? In that case, you can use Kanon as a perfect sacrifice. Kanon killed Jessica. If you support Rosa's theory, everything is settled here, you know. Kanon is already dead. There should be no need to show concern for the dead. And you won't even have to doubt anyone here.
Damn it. I won't accept you. But Kanon-kun being the culprit? That's impossible.
I don't want to suspect anyone. However, it is sometimes the case that the suspicious are the guilty. In any case, there is probably nothing better than caution. Dr. Nanjo, what do you mean by that? Oh, please do not misunderstand. I do not wish to label Kanon-kun as the culprit. However, until we understand the situation, there is the possibility that Kanon-kun is the culprit. And I believe keeping that in mind is safe. Yes, that's right. You cannot be too cautious. It didn't seem as though anyone blamed Nanjo. In reality, no one thought Kanon was the culprit. But if they didn't suspect him, they would have to suspect one of the servants here. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to suspect. We didn't want to be suspected. That is the correct way to think. We cannot be too vigilant. Is there anyone who objects to that? Listen. There's a very high likelihood that this murder case is related to the legend of the Gother's gold. In that case, I hate you. In that case, it's certainly the crime of someone plotting to keep a vast amount of gold worth tens of billions of yen all for themselves. With that amount of money, you could play around for the rest of your life in any country. It may be possible that they could massacre us for this reason. For the simple reason that our guest wasn't holding a master key for the murder of Jessica-chan and this murder alone, we removed our 19th person, Beatrice, from suspicion. But we can't say that she is unrelated to the crime. After all, that's a vast amount of gold we're talking about. We can't deny the possibility that there are multiple culprits. Right now, one of the people here among us might have been brought by the culprit. Mongus. As Auntie Rosa yelled, she looked all around, her gun still raised. Don't believe anyone, suspect the person next to you, that's what she was saying. But no one wanted to suspect. They didn't want to suspect anyone here. The weakness in their hearts demanded an answer for those who did not hear. There are only two groups of people you can be sure aren't suspects. Yourself and those who are already corpses. The same goes for Kanon-kun. Until we can catch sight of his corpse, then he is most likely to suspect in Jessica-chan's murder. So take care. Even if he's still alive, even if he smooth things over with some explanation, you absolutely must not trust him. All right? No one gave an answer on their own initiative. However, those who met Auntie Rosa's eyes had to nod their heads. Humans are social beings. In other words, from the time they are born, trusting each other is imprinted in their genes. It is unpleasant to go against that. They definitely don't want to suspect anyone. But if they had to suspect someone, they thought that choosing one of the people not here right now would be the most acceptable. For just the reason of acceptability, they had passively chosen to sacrifice Kanon.